We're live. Hi, everybody. Um, okay, lots to talk about first. So I'm going to get into it real quick right away so we can get to our card. Um, Today is July 31st. Can you believe it? July 31st already. August starts tomorrow. Wow, I just can't believe it. It's just like this summer is just flying by. And the winter was going so slow. That always happens. Anyway, well, today's the last day to get $5 coupons. So if you place a $50 order, you get a $5 coupon. I have a couple of those for people. I'll talk to you about them when you get your order, because I'm doing a little different from the way Stampin' Up does it. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. Um, August 6th is the big day for a lot of stuff. That's Tuesday next week. Um, we are going to have 15% off DSP, all the designer series paper that's in the catalog, and the online exclusives. That's the annual catalog, and the online exclusives is going to be 15% off for I think the rest of the month, starting August 6th. Hi, Connie. Um, it's also for demonstrators, catalog, the mini catalog pre-order. Now, I want to just tell you some stuff about the mini catalog. First of all, I looked through it and I was not impressed. I didn't have a very big order. But you know what? I just went back through it again today and I added and added and added it, and it's growing. So I'm going to have some stuff to show you in the upcoming weeks, and then that's going to go live to you for orders in September. Now, there's also going to be the mini catalog. At first, was a little disappointing because it didn't have any Halloween stuff in it, and very, very little fall stuff. And you know, the mini catalog at this time of year always has all that stuff, all the holidays, the Halloween, the fall, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Well, last year they had some issues because it only went out the beginning of September. And if you remember, there were a lot of people that were very upset because it came out in September. People were ordering the Halloween stuff like crazy. They ran out. It went on back order. People couldn't get their Halloween stuff until mid October, which by then it was too late. So people complained about that. So what they decided to do, and I guess this is probably a good idea, they did not put it in the catalog this time. So you're not going to find any Halloween stuff in the mini catalog. But they do promise us that there will be some paper, Halloween paper, some more, um, maybe some kits. I'm not even sure what they're going to do. It's going to be released, probably in an online exclusive with some more stamp sets and dies and things like that. It looks like there's going to be a kit too. So that's something to look forward to, but it's not going to be in the mini catalog. Just, we already have an online exclusive out right now that has a couple two Halloween sets in it. One is the potions, and the other one is just ghosts, I think. There's no paper yet, but it's coming. They tell us it's coming. Okay, so there's that. Um, Personally, I am going to be at the Wernersville Library on August 7th, 5 to 7. That's the night one, first week of the first Wednesday of the month. And then August 28th is the fourth Wednesday of the month. That'll be Wernersville at 1:30. I had told you it was 1 o'clock last time. The library looked at me when I got there and said, "Oh, you're early." And I said, "Oh, I thought 1 o'clock." They said, "No, 1:30." So 1:30, because they have other programs going on around that time. So we're going to go 1:30 to 3:30 from here on in. Okay. So there's that. Um, on a personal note, I was a little concerned. Hi, Carol. I was a little concerned because I was having some issues with my hand and my arm and my wrist and all this kind of stuff. And it happened to be my right hand and wrist and everything. So I went to the doctor the other day. I knew that I had carpal tunnel, but I thought I had it under control because I was wearing the wrist braces at night. And he said that that should keep it down. But this started, and that's what I thought it was. I had myself convinced that I was going to have to get surgery on the carpal tunnel, and so I'd be out of commission for a couple of weeks. And I actually enlisted somebody to take classes for me um, in case that happened. Lisa very, very nicely said, "Yes, I'll take your classes if you need." So I was pretty concerned about this. Well, I went to the doctor yesterday, and the trouble that I'm having is not carpal tunnel, it's something called radial tunnel. And he gave me a shot which fixed it right up. I mean, I'm just good as new. And, it's a little sore, but that's all. But he also told me he wants me to go to physical therapy. And he said he does not want to have to do the surgery if he doesn't have to, because the one for the radial tunnel is a little bit more intense than the other one and would put me out for a while. So I'm going to start physical therapy in a week or two, and hopefully that will take care of the problem. So I don't know if I had said something online. I know I told some people, "Hi, Kathy." So I just wanted to update you on that. Then, one last thing, um, you know that we run this little thing. If you comment, your name goes in this box. And I pull your name at the end of the week. Now, all the comments that you make tonight and the rest of this week. So if you don't get to watch it tonight, you watch it later the week, you comment, I still get your name in the box. I go through, like earlier today, I went through and pulled everybody's name that commented. And I also went to YouTube and pulled comments off of YouTube. Karen put a couple of comments there. So your name's in the box too, Karen. Um, did I just flip one? Yes, I did. I just flipped the name out. That name is Carol. So, Carol, I'm counting that as a pick. And Carol, you get the card. Okay, so I put your name in this box. I pull a name. The name that I pull gets the card that I made tonight. That's the way we're working this. So I just want to tell you, if you are watching tonight, you comment, that's great. If you watch later on in the week and comment, I will still catch it. And if you watch it on YouTube, hello to you on YouTube. And if you put a comment there, I will make sure that your name gets in the box then too. We have some fun stuff going on tonight. Now, you see the title of this show tonight is Summer to Winter, which is your favorite. We're doing two cards, the exact same layout for both cards. One's real summery, one's real wintery. Carol, you're going to laugh because it's a Christmas type card and it is pink. You knew I'd get that in there sooner or later, right? This was really sooner. Carol always jokes around with me about doing everything in pink. And a couple of years ago, we had a lot of pink Christmas cards, and she just thought that was kind of funny. So I did have to get a pink Christmas card in. And Carol, I'm going to leave a note for myself that you get the card. I do put these cards aside, everybody, just so you know. If I see you at a class, I get it to you at the class. If I don't see you at a class, then I'll stick it in the mail for you. So if I won't be seeing you at a class, hi Karen, make sure you private message me your address so I can mail it to you. Carol gets a card from 731. And I'll even let you pick which one you want, if you want the summer one or the winter one at the end. So you can let me know which one you like better. Okay, and now without further ado, I am going to cut myself out of here, get us to full screen, and here we are. Now, what do you see here? Okay, I explained this to some people the other day because they were asking me for the written tutorial for a card. Sometimes I do tutorials, I do written tutorials, but a lot of times what I do is I do a template. This is an idea that I got from a demonstrator, Jackie Boyce, who talks about making templates, card templates, fun fold templates, and I love this idea. So you just take scrap paper. I have got a whole box, little basket here. Whenever I have scrap pieces, I throw them in here. Cardstock, DSP, anything, okay? They go in here, and this is what I use to make my templates. So they're ugly, nothing matches, you know. I mean, like, look at this. It's pink, orange, and gray, but it's all scraps. And it doesn't matter because as long as you write the measurements down. So I'm going to hold this out so that you guys can see what we're doing and how I'm following this template. We started out with a 4¼ by 11 base. Now that 4¼ by 11 base is up to here. And I'm going to show you that on the card. So the first card we're going to do is the summer card. That's this one. Okay, our oh, and I made another one too. So I have two of them. Okay, here is our 7 by 11 base. Now we're going to score this, and I'm following a template. That doesn't look like it's 7 by 11, does it? But it is, because over here is the rest of the base. And when you score it and then you cut this off, it's going to be under there. And there's a reason for that. I'll show you what that reason is in a minute. Okay, so we're going to start by scoring it at 2¼ This piece is 4 by 11, 4¼ by 11. Sorry, guys. Okay, and we're scoring it at 2¼ Get rid of that cutting blade. If you're anything like me, you will cut this instead of scoring it if that cutting blade is anywhere nearby. Okay, 2¼ and then again at 5½. Then we're going to take this and we're going to fold it. Let's see. That needs amount. Okay, so I'm going to fold it. I'm going to score that. See, you fold it like kind of in half. And then this piece goes back that way. And I'm just folding it and making sure I have some good creases right off the bat. Now, I want these creases, I want this top part, the shorter part, we're going to take 5/8 of an inch. Now, my 5/8 inch, measure it over here. A 1/2 inch is 4/8. So I only need to take it 1/8 over from 4/8, and that's 5/8. For anybody who struggles with these eighths, that's how to do it. Then you take your scoring blade, your cutting blade this time, and we're lining up this line here with the score line here. And we're going to take it up to the end. Okay? Then we're going to flip the whole thing over and do it again. 5/8 and cut it down to line up this line on your cutting blade with the score line. Okay? Everybody see that I was doing that? Okay, I was doing that. And then I think we're done with that, at least for a little bit. Now we're going to take snips. And we're just going to snip these off at the score line. You might have to clean them up a little bit later if they weren't cut exactly right, but that's not a biggie. This, I attended Creative Aid, which is a four demonstrators get together and do this, all kinds of different techniques. They show a lot of neat new things. They show, but they always show you a card base that you can use for whatever stamps you have. You don't have to use what they use. And that's what I'm showing you here. Jackie Bolhes made this, and she did use this Mediterranean paper that I'm using. So this one's very similar to hers, but the other one is totally, totally rogue. It's totally off the mark, different. Okay, so I just mainly wanted to show you that you can use what you see here. When I make a card here, if you don't have the particular stamp set and paper and stuff that I'm using, of course you can always buy it. You can order it from me anytime, but you can um, use what you have. Use your stuff. You bought your stuff because you loved it, right? So use it. Okay, next thing you're going to do is you're going to have a layer the same color as your base, 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Again, I'm following this, okay? And then, no, I'm sorry, that was wrong. It's 4 1/2 by 3. So if you're writing this down, 4 1/2 by 3, not, I don't know why this is so, oh yeah, I do, because I wrote it in pencil. I should have written this so you could see it in ink. 4 1/2 by 3. That is the top. And then the DSP, or the focal layer, is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, which is what I just said before, but I said it was the top. The top layer, this, is 2 1/2 by 3. Then we're putting a layer on top of this in DSP that we're cutting 1/4 inch shorter, so it's 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and that's going on right there. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on with my green glue. This Mediterranean paper, I believe, is so, so pretty. And it's the lemons and goes so well with the blues. I just think it's such pretty paper. So this is your summer version of this card. The next thing you do is you have 2 pieces of designer series paper, 4 by 3. One is going to go here, one is going to go here. And I'm going to go ahead and glue those on right away. Now what I did is I cut, this is the same, the Mediterranean paper, just a bigger design. I'm going to put, and I looked at this other side and I thought, wow, I could use that too. That would look very pretty with the yellow flowers, because I put lemons, I'm putting lemons out to do the top. Oh, I have this. What I'm doing with this is I'm going to take a piece of my white 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put that down first on the back. This is just, it does, you don't have to do this, but what I did on one card is I glued this designer series paper right onto the blue. Then I had to cut a piece of white to put here so I could print on it or put my reading, whatever, my sentiment, my signature, whatever I want on that song. Okay, and you just put your designer series paper on there, and they're going to line up like it's one card going across. Then this piece we're going to decorate before we attach. And again, I did this so that you would not have to sit and watch me do this. I fussy cut this lemon out of one of the pieces of paper. Now, on my one card, it has a single lemon because that's what I cut. This one here. So, I mean, it's basically the same. And that's going to kind of go there. And I'm gluing that down. I'm not putting that one with dimensionals, I'm going to tell you a little thing that this is one of my own little, hi Barb, this is one of my little pet peeves. When you put, if you would put this up on dimensionals, you're going to have loose pieces, and it's paper. It's just designer series paper. It's just not sturdy, and it's going to hang off a little bit. And if it catches, it's going to tear. It's going to crinkle, and if that happens before you even get it to your person, they're going to get a card that looks a little messy. So you have two options. You either glue this down just the way it is, or mount it to a piece of white and cut that out before you fussy cut it even. You could take this whole piece and just mount it right onto a piece of white and fussy cut it. Just if you know you're going to have little pieces like this sticking out anywhere, and you definitely want to put it up on dimensionals, do that with it. Put it on some white paper. Barb, you just had a birthday. Was it a good one? And then my next thing here, it says, just checking in. That is going to go on dimensionals. Now, I put that on a piece of lemon lolly. My greeting layer on my template says it's 2¼ by 7/8. This is, I think I cut it down. I cut it a little bit longer and down. And you could fancy that up if you wanted to, but I don't think it needs it. I think it's kind of nice just like that. So we are going to put that on dimensionals. And did you see Joey? Did you all see Joey's little comment earlier? He thinks he's the star of the show now. He was laying on the chair, and he was just kind of laying there with his head over to the side, looking, and the Olympics were on, and he's just laying there looking like he's so intently watching it. And I said, Joey, you didn't put your thing on Facebook for me. And he jumped up and he looked at me like, what? And that's why I put that message the way I did. And it was amusing. Okay, now we're going to just glue this onto this. And we want this to line up exactly with the edge. The way we're going to do this is we're going to put all of our glue on here. We are not putting any glue on that focal piece. And you'll see in a minute why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. We're lining this up right on the edge, and then press it down and make sure it's stuck there. Okay, now when you open this, this piece is going to flip over to there. They call it a flip-flop card. So then when you have it, and then when you have it standing up, which you can't really see so good, but it stands up like kind of like this, like corner to corner. It's neat. I like the way it looks. And it flips over to that. Now you can do, I did this on the one side, I stamped a note in here that says just a note to let you know that someone thought of you today. And then I put white here because I thought this might be something. It says thinking of you on the front. And I thought this might be something that a couple people might want to sign. So I have this white over here. So there's room for more people to sign or to write a note or something like that. But that's entirely up to you how you want to do that. And so I'm going to leave this one just blue. I'm going to just leave it the way it is. I will put, I'm going to put that same message. I love this message that says just a note to let you know that someone thought of you today. I think that's such a nice message. That's such a nice sentiment. And So I'm going to be using, again, I'll leave a little more white room down there. And the envelope, you can do a couple things with the envelope. You can put your designer series paper, since the designer series paper is the big part of this card, you could put a piece of designer series paper on the envelope flap. That makes the envelope way more, just so you know. So when you put this whole thing in the envelope and you put the flap on, your postage might be up a little higher. The other thing I was doing is the stamp set has a little, I don't know, you can see it there. It's this design almost, no, almost. And I just took that and stamped it across the envelope flap. And on the bottom of the front of the envelope too. Okay. Um, I like that little piece of paint. I think it adds something to it. So that's, we're missing, we find them. Uh-oh, I had everything together. How could I have lost something? And yet I didn't. Well, okay, I'm going to tell you anyway. There were blue and yellow. Came with this suite. There was blue and yellow, or blue and gold. I guess they are in white. I put them on here, but they don't stand out very much. You can hardly see them. So, oh yes, Barb, Deadpool and Wolverine. I remember you saying something about that. Yeah, both of those guys are pretty fine. Yep. In fact, it made me think we were going to go see a movie this week, and I'm looking at the Twister movie. I want to see that because I like the original Twister. I thought that was a good movie, and I like disaster movies. So I was really hoping to go see that. But then I saw your review of Deadpool and Wolverine, and I thought, oh, that might be interesting too. Well, we didn't go to any of them, but maybe tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to use some of these, just the plain white ones, just because I think they'll stand out a little bit better instead of the blue. You do, yeah. Just to give a little spark. Yeah. Okay, there's that one. That's card number 1. Summer card. I'm glad you liked the card, by the way, Barb. My August card list is crazy. I can't believe how many cards I had to send down in August. Okay, the next one. This is our winter card. Same design, same layout. Using the Sophisticated Sled. Oh, and of course, there they are. Now I find the dots that go with that. Oh, well. Okay, this is it. Let's decorate the season with happiness. Merry Christmas. Oh, now, you know me. You know I like my glitz. So I'm going to tell you one thing. Okay, the paper. I was looking for something that looked wintry, but pink. So what I did is I have this packet of Unbounded Beauty. And these are 2 of the pinks that were in there. And this one just had enough white in the background that I thought that made it look snowy almost. And then this one was just perfect with it, right? So that's why I decided on that. But of course, this didn't have quite enough glitz for me. So I took it and guess what I did? I took my all-purpose ink, Frost White. I took my sponge. I dabbed a little bit of this ink on the sponge. You can do this way, or you can drip some of this on a block. You can kind of control it better that way, but I'm not doing that right now. Okay, just get it to very mild, that there's just a very mild amount on it, and then swirl it around over this paper, and it just gives you a little bit of a shimmer, and it really makes it look snowy. I like it. By the way, I did get this in. A couple of people had asked me about it. I couldn't get it on Amazon. They were out of it or something. But I did find another place that carried it. It's $5.50 a bottle plus tax. And, so I do have a couple bottles of it. I know I have one promised out. But I think I got 6 right away because I use it so much. And I know people see me using it and they want it too. So if you need it, let me know and I'll get a bottle to you. Okay, so there's that. We're going to set that aside and let it dry. That's why I wanted to do that first, because I wanted to dry. And once again, we have our 4 1/4 this way by 11 base, and we're going to score it. We're going to start it at 2 1/4. We're going to get rid of this cutting blade because I just reached for it and almost did it, but I caught myself. Okay, 2 1/4 and 5 1/2. The reason that I fold this right away is because I'm going to be cutting down to this fold. I want this crease, I want this fold, the score line. I want you to be able to see that really well. I want to be able to see it really well when I'm cutting. So that's why I make sure I fold the whole thing right away. Okay, so now we're going to take this 5/8. There's a 4, there's the 5. Okay, 5/8. Now we get the cutting blade up to the top, down to the score line. Flip it around, 5/8. I think I might have moved it, so you can double check that. There's the 5/8. Top, down to the score line. Okay. That's it for that. I have everything else cut. We are going to trim this in from the fold into, just to get rid of that piece and this piece. I'm just trimming this off a little bit. So we're missing a couple people tonight. I know we're missing Linda. Linda is on her way to London, and she's on a plane right now as we speak. So she did get an international card for her cell phone, so she might be able to catch us. Probably not on the plane. I guess you can't do it on the plane, but she might be able to catch us when she gets to London if she doesn't have anything better to do than to watch. Maybe she'll watch us. What do you think, guys? You think she's gonna watch it from London? Okay, so here's our 2 pieces. Yeah, I don't know. I have my doubts. That's pretty, yeah, that's dry. Okay, so I used white this time, and this piece is 4 1/2 by 3. And then this piece here that we just blitzed up is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Now we're going to glue those together. But we're missing Susie. I hope everything's okay with Susie. I know she loves this paper, and I think she's going to be impressed that I actually used it for a Christmas card, because I know she's been using it a lot for summery looking stuff. So yeah, that ink, that glimmer ink dries pretty quick, because now I just set that aside and I've been rubbing my fingers all over it and it's totally dry. It's not even tacky. Okay, and then I have my 2 pieces 4 by 3. I'm going to put them on either side. Karen and Connie, do you have your pre-order lists ready? I have mine already. Oh, and I'm going to do this again. I'm going to put it on white. I'm going to glue the white down first. This is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm going to glue this piece on to the end of it. So now I have just enough room to stamp a greeting here. And here's a little trick I'm going to show you about stamping that greeting. I'm using a new set that is an online exclusive. It's called Greetings of the Season. And it's a really neat set because it's got a lot of stuff. And it has your Merry Christmas, but they're 2 separate words. Or you could use season greetings, but I want to use Merry Christmas, or even Happy Christmas or Happy Holidays. Now, how do you do that and get it to look the way you want it to look? Connie's ready. Karen's working on it. And we got a couple days to go yet. You're doing good. Okay, so here's what I did. I took the Mary. I use my grid paper for this always. I put my Mary on a line it up, face down, make sure it's down the way you're going to stamp it. And then my Christmas on a line, and I put it so that it's right where I want it to show up on the stamp. Okay, I got those 2 lined up on the grid paper straight. Now I take my block and go like that. Okay? Now this should be exactly the way it was there, right? It should be. Who we will see. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right away. Since I have it sitting right here. And that came out perfect. That's just the way I wanted it to come out. So that's exactly how you do it. That's the best way to do it. Line it up on your grid paper first, then put the block on it. Okay, for my front, I'm using Let's Decorate the Season with Happiness. And I got that out of with my postage stamp punch. But I only did the ends, the 2 side ends, because I didn't want it so big. I didn't want it that big. So I only did the ends, and I think it looks nice like that. I'm just doing this to get the stamping done. Decorate the season with happiness. Again, line it up nice on your thing so you can see what you're doing on your grid paper, and it should come out straight. Use that grid paper. You haven't, use it. It lines things up really nicely. Shells are coming down. Okay, and look at it. Clean this right, honey. Now, the fun part, I pre-cut everything, just so you know. But what we're going to do is using this sophisticated sled. And we're going to use the sled, and we're using the skates. But I'm not using the stamps. Well, I am using the stamps for the skate stamps. I have them right here. And here is my sled. So, my dies for the sled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the wood part out of crumb cake. So that's going to go through my die cutter just like that. The outside edge, the runners, you could do them in silver or you could just do them in gray. I'm going for gray. Basic gray is what I'm going to use. That's going to go right there. And then we're going to stamp the skates on a piece of our scrap, piece of white scrap. I think they'll fit on. No, they won't. Okay, we'll use this. This would be a good way to a good place to use your Misty or your Stamparatus if you have one, just to make sure you have all the black. But that came out pretty good. Oops, you can't see it there. I hope if you can see it, right? Because you want the black of the boots to show good. Now what I did, you have two options. There's a die here to cut the blades. So you could cut the blades out of silver and put them on there if you want to get really fancy. There is a die to cut these out. Here's what I did. I took a basic gray marker and I colored the blades with it. And actually, I didn't use basic gray because this is kind of dark. This is darker than my original one. So after they're all colored and ready to go, if you want to color the boots, you could. You want to leave them white? I like them white, so I'm just going to leave them go. And then there's a die that fits over the whole thing, like so. And we're going to run all these things through our machine, and magically, they come out like this. Perfect. So we have a couple places where these little dots didn't come through, and watch in between your slats of your sled, they didn't come through. And you could use the die brush. I have the die brush here. I could have used that, but it's just a couple pieces, so I'm just going to use my pokey, poke it through. And now I'm going to get out my glue gun because I'm going to do some intricate gluing here. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of it. Okay, there's that and that. Rid of all these things. You see, on my boots here, I used a lighter. I think I must have used Smoky Slate on the blades. Um, and those are the ones I just did now with the basic gray. I like the Smoky Slate better. I'll fix that. Okay, now what you need to do, we're going to lay this guy down on our silicone mat. This part goes up top. This part goes here. For those of you who do not know this, I'm using this glue gun. This is Sweet Petunia. It has a very fine tip on it, so you don't get big globs of glue everywhere. So I really kind of like it. And I'm just putting some little dabs here and there. I'm hoping that I actually catch the wood slats. And then I'm going to put the top part on first just because I think you can see it better. Glue that down. Okay, that's not hard at all, right? I mean, I think this is a really cool looking piece. I mean, it's just so easy. I took a black marker then and I colored in these dots. I don't really know if that's necessary to do, but I did. And after the fact, I thought about it and I just did it again. I'm going to put a piece of ribbon at the top, the linen thread, and it could have gone through those holes, but that probably would have been really tedious to try to do it. So it's probably just as good that I didn't do it. Okay, and then the skates get put on with glue dots. Just one glue dot up here, that's all. Oh no, I put dimensionals down here too. Down in the boot part, and then just a glue dot up at the top. And I put that on the sled rather than on the skates. So that just stands up a little bit, not a lot. Then I took a little bit of linen thread, made a bow, and put it on top of that bow just because I didn't like the looks of that bow. When I saw it, I just thought, nope, that's not going to fly. In this particular linen thread bow, you want to kind of leave it. I usually cut these off pretty short. I'm going to leave this one a little bit longer. The tails, maybe not as long as they are right now, but I'm going to leave them a little bit longer, just so they kind of flap in the breeze. Like that. Okay, and again, glue dot will go there to put that together. So when you make your cards, do you like just make a whole bunch of random cards, or do you actually think of the people you're making them for? Like I mean, I have a whole lot of my sample cards. So I've got boxes of cards. So I have a birthday that comes up. You would think I would just go in that box of cards and pull one out and mail it, but I don't do that. I'll make a new one because I want it to be different. I want it to be special. And so I end up with all my sample cards in boxes here because I don't use them and I give them away. But the reason I asked that question is because when I was making this particular card, I knew exactly who I was sending it to. It is a Christmas card, and I just know a girl who thinks that a pink Christmas card is just cat's pajamas, and she's going to get it. I already have it figured out. And if Carol picks it, it's okay because I have 3 of them. Because when I was making the samples, I kept kind of doctoring them up and doing them a little different. Okay, so we have our thing here. This is getting glued down. It's too fragile. I don't want, there's a piece sticking out here and here. I hate that, but it's got to be. So the whole sled itself is getting glued to the card front. I'm going to try and make it as secure as I possibly can, but it's just, unless you would put it sideways, which you could do. You could have put it this way and put that down. You could do that and open it up and down that way, but I didn't choose to do that. So it's sticking off a little bit. It has to be that way. I just told you I didn't like doing that, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, and now you put your glue on here, just like before. So basically, you could make this particular card, have your template, make your template so that you have all your measurements handy, and then you could make this card out of any kind of designer series paper that you really love, and any kind of old die cuts or fronts. You wouldn't even have to use a die cut. You saw the other one. I just fussy cut something out of a piece of paper. So find a designer series paper that you really like, and it's going to flip flop right open like that. You can see the shimmer in the pink in the front. And I think this is just more than appropriate for Christmas. Okay, so those are our 2 cards for tonight. Carol gets to pick one, summer or winter. Oh, I did not make an envelope for that one. So let me quick do that. So the stamp set has this little hanging thing there, and that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that in garden green. And I'm going to stamp it on the front. Oh yes, Connie. The more I use this stamp set, the more I like it. It really has some neat features to it. So I'm using the garden green, and I'm going to take my pretty in pink marker, and I'm just going to color some of these berries in. Oh, and I forgot the See, here I am telling you we're finished, and we're not. I'm going to do the envelope. Pink berries. Yeah, I mean, you could really get creative and color the bow pink too if you wanted to, but I don't. So I'm just going to do the berries. And now it's finished. That was my sample. That's why I did the second one. Okay, and then this one is ready to go too. Okay, those are our 2 cards for today. Carol? Oh, you're going to let me pick. Okay. All right, I will get one ready for you. There we go. Hope you like them. If you need the measurements for the template, let me know. And then make yourself your template so that you have it. I put them all in a big file box, and when I'm looking for something to do, I leaf through the file box until I find something. But I just love this particular design for the using up the designer series paper. I just think it shows off the paper really nicely. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful evening, and I hope you enjoyed this. And we have summer, we have winter. Tell me which is your favorite. And I'll talk to you all next week. Thanks for joining me. Have a good evening.